tick, tick, boom.
This town is run by the McAlpins. That is who this town is run by. The people do not run this town. The select board does not run this town. The McAlpins run this town. And Chris Albert, the reason he has the behavior that he has is because there's no consequences, and he is allowed.
The Commonwealth would dispute counsel's representation that the material is new information. I would say approximately 90% to 95% of the material that we received is consistent with the Commonwealth's theory of the case.
What is your opinion or conclusion as to whether or not the damage to the taillight was caused by striking John O'Keefe's head?
From a damage standpoint, it was inconsistent.
And the damage with the car is inconsistent with him being struck by it.
He is allowed to run havoc and terrorize this town and sick the people after us. And that is a problem. This is domestic terrorism. We need new leadership in this town.
Madam Lally, are you confident that Karen Reed will be declared not guilty? Do you see the verdict coming in tomorrow as not guilty for Karen Reed, Adam Lally? Any comments, sir? Any comments, sir? All right, thank you so much.
As it relates to the Karen Reed case,
yes.
how do you feel like the Karen Reed case was handled by the chief? Did she botch it? How would you phrase it?
Botch it? No, she deliberately covered it up. They all did. They all covered it up. And how do I know this? From their own mouths, from their own testimony.
Excuse me, my back was turned.
Grant.
My back was turned. My back was turned, sir.
My back was turned, sir.
Their story never had a chance. It didn't fit the puzzle. None of it did. It was all he said, she said nonsense.
Right now, or what is it for you? We're not commenting, Steve. Nothing at all. Feeling good? Just show the security. Hold up right there.
What the defense presented was concrete evidence by the most highly credentialed people and experts in this country. People that were hired by the Department of Justice, by the NHL team. These people, light years ahead of what we saw.
All right, why'd you bring me here, Mr. Jackson?
Your Honor, I just saw the verdict forms, and we had discussed yesterday that we'd make some changes to...
No. I did not agree to that. I said I had a very long day and need a glass of rosé and a nap.
Well, you had...
What we saw in the trial for the Canton Police Station is ridiculous. And they lie, and they have no problem lying, or no problem making mistakes. They don't follow policy and procedure. Why? Because they have the guns.
Well, you had agreed that there needs to be a not guilty option for the lesser charges on the form.
No, I had said that seems reasonable, more or less, but that's how it always has been here. You know, we like to see people convicted, so we play a fun little game on the form.
Is there any relief that it's a 1-year renewal rather than 3 years?
No, there's no relief. We're gonna have a verdict tomorrow, and we are gonna have a not guilty verdict. And that is gonna shine a light onto why the Canton Police and the high-ranking people of not only the Canton Police, but also the Canton Fire Department, why their stories were told that were completely inconsistent with what the evidence, the real evidence showed. No.
Right, just one thing. I don't give a fuck how it's always been here, okay? I care about what's appropriate.
It's appropriate.
Because
it's appropriate.
If you could just let me speak for one goddamn second, I'll tell you why it's not, okay? They have to decide not guilty on the big kahuna. Once they decide on the big kahuna, they still have to decide on the lesser charges. And how, on God's green earth, are they supposed to decide not guilty if there's no not guilty box?
no contract renewal. That's what we need. We need someone from the outside. We need the federal government in here. We need receivership. We need it now.
Yesterday. Thanks, Rita.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Can you answer me? How do they say not guilty if there's no not guilty box?
They decide. They do that.
Right, but how do they physically convey not guilty if there's no not guilty box?
They just don't check the guilty box.
So no check mark means the jury says not guilty. Yeah, it's on the fucking form, okay? It's what we do here. Okay, well that's fucked up, and we strongly object, because it almost seems like without a not guilty box on the verdict form, you're trying to push a guilty verdict.
Okay, I disagree. Mr. Yannetti, you see this all the time.
Never in my life, actually.
Oh, you've never had a lesser included charge?
No, I always have, but I've never seen a form like that.
I disagree. I don't believe... Excuse me? This is funny, Miss Reed? We're done.
Tick, tick, boom.